All right, let's dive into this whole digital nomad thing. We got that Flex Jobs article you sent, and gotta say, it gets real about making this lifestyle actually work.
It does.
Beyond those picture-perfect laptop on the beach shots you always see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how do you build a life that's both adventurous and actually sustainable, you
Yeah.
know?
Right. It's a totally different thing from just working from home every once in a while.
Totally.
This is about like a fundamental shift in how you work and live.
Yeah.
It takes a whole new skill set, a ton of adaptability.
The article defines a digital nomad as basically a remote worker who's constantly on the move.
Yeah.
But it's not always about, like, hopping on a plane every week, right?
Right.
Some people are all about that constant travel, but others have a home base and just take longer trips a few times a year.
Exactly. It's a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And one thing I think this article really nails is that it's not a perpetual vacation.
Right.
It's about making work and travel fit together, which takes serious organization and self-motivation.
Especially with all the distractions.
Oh, for sure.
The article actually says you should ask yourself some tough questions before even booking a flight. Like, could you handle a tech meltdown in another country by yourself?
Yeah.
Or stay productive without a strict routine?
Right.
And can you actually make the money side work long term, you know?
That's the make or break part for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You got to be honest with yourself. Really dig into your spending habit.
And not just the fun spending either.
No, the whole picture. Visas, travel insurance, cost of living, changes. Those add up fast.
Stuff people don't always factor in.
Exactly.
That's so true.
And the article busts this myth about budgeting, too.
How's that?
It's not enough to just track what you spend, especially with the income swings digital nomads often have.
Oh, right, because it's not always consistent.
Yeah, you need a plan for those lean months, almost like an emergency fund, just for that.
Smart.
Yeah, that financial prep is key, especially when you're starting out. The article really emphasizes researching typical earnings in your specific field.
Not just general digital nomad averages.
Right, those can be misleading.
Makes sense.
Knowing your worth is huge when you're setting rates, building something sustainable.
That's such a good point.
It is.
Okay, so say you've crunched the numbers, you feel good about it.
Right.
The article then says to get real about your skills.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not just being good at your job, but excelling in a remote setting, you know?
Totally different ballgame.
It is.
They give this example, right? Imagine a tight deadline and suddenly internet's down.
The worst.
Can you roll with it, find a workaround, still deliver amazing work? That's what it takes.
Resourcefulness, not just checking boxes on a list.
Exactly. Resilience, thinking on your feet.
Yeah, that pressure cooker situation really shows why you need specific skills for this.
Totally.
And speaking of which, the article gets into some you might not expect beyond the tech stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just what software you can use, right? They say communication skills are huge E.
Oh, essential, especially when you're the one reaching out. You're working remotely, different time zones maybe?
Yeah, you're like your own PR team almost.
You are. Clear, concise emails, messages, video calls, all of it.
Especially if the client's in a different country or something, can't just pop by their office.
Exactly. And the article really stresses this, being proactive, anticipating misunderstandings before they happen.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. And then there's self-management. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah. I can see how that'd be tough.
Easy to get sidetracked when your office is a cool cafe or whatever.
So true. Okay, so your skills are sharp, budget's planned, ready to pack those bags.
All right, here we go.
Now the fun part, choosing where to go. But this is where the article is like, hey, think beyond those Instagram photos.
It's got to be more than just looks, right?
Right. Finding a place that fits how you work, your priorities.
Exactly. Do you thrive in a busy city, fast Wi-Fi, tons of networking?
Or do you need that slower pace, even if it means less convenience?
There you go.
It's easy to romanticize a place without thinking about the practical stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I like that they're like, where do you do your best work?
That's the key question.
And don't forget visas.
Oh, yeah, that can be a nightmare if you don't sort it out.
Seriously.
The article mentions Nomad Visa. That's a good resource. And just researching the specific country's rules.
Easy to overlook. It's not just about finding a cheap flight.
Nope, got to be able to legally work there too.
So true. Okay, destinations locked in. Now it's time to polish that online presence, starting with the portfolio.
Yeah, your digital first impression, basically.
Right.
Quality over quantity, that's what they emphasize, not just every project you've ever done crammed in there.
More like a highlight reel, right? Your best work tailored to what you're going for now.
Exactly.
This resonated with me, that whole choosing what to showcase.
It's its own skill.
It is. How to present it so it grabs attention. Even though we're talking digital nomad, you still need a strong personal brand.
Absolutely. Your portfolio should tell a story. Who you are as a professional, your passions.
Yeah, I like that.
It should make them want to work with you.
And the article also mentions something that's both exciting and kind of daunting about this lifestyle: networking.
Networking is huge EE, especially when you're location independent.
Yeah.
Building that support system, even if it's virtual, it's crucial. Finding clients, even just not feeling isolated.
Oh, right. That's a real thing people don't always talk about.
Oh, yeah.
It's a balance, right? Putting yourself out there, but also protecting your time and energy.
Absolutely.
What do they suggest for finding your people, so to speak?
A mix of online and offline stuff.
Okay, like what?
Online communities, LinkedIn, Nomad list, those are good.
Right, I've heard of those.
And then in-person stuff too, local meetups, even if you're just passing through a city.
Just got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, it makes you rethink traditional networking, that's for sure.
It does. And then there's this whole other aspect. The article talks about a minimalist mindset.
Oh, that comes up a lot with digital nomads.
Makes sense. You can't exactly be lugging around tons of stuff.
Right, it's about simplifying your belongings, your lifestyle. It actually makes the experience better.
So it's not just about packing light, it's about living lighter.
Exactly.
So what does living lighter actually look like day to day? Any tips from the article on how to actually pare down?
They go beyond that whole capsule wardrobe thing, which, yeah, we've all heard that.
Right.
It's more like digitize your documents, ditch the giant stack of books.
Oh, I feel attacked. I've got so many.
And then even stuff like subscriptions. Really look at what you're paying for.
Oh, interesting.
It's about what you truly need, not just what you're used to having around.
Almost like decluttering your brain, too, not just your stuff.
Totally. That mindset shift can be huge, especially when your home is always changing.
I bet. The article says that owning less actually makes you more adaptable.
It's true.
Which is like essential for this lifestyle.
When things go wrong, which they will, you're ready to pivot. That's a good point. Got to be able to roll with the punches.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the lifestyle, the mindset, but let's get real about the work itself.
Gotta pay the bills, right?
The article makes this distinction about remote jobs. Not all of them are created equal.
No, definitely not.
Like some companies just allow it, but others really embrace the whole distributed team thing.
It's night and day, the difference in culture.
So how do you spot those companies when you're job hunting?
They say to look for clues in the job description itself.
Oh, really? Like what?
Do they use words like flexibility, autonomy, global team? Those are good signs.
Okay, yeah, those would get my attention.
And don't just stop there. Check their website, social media,
Like, are they showcasing remote employees, stuff like that?
Exactly. Do they have a whole remote work policy? Are they proud of it?
It's like being a detective, looking for those clues.
You got to do your research.
And don't forget those employee reviews, Glassdoor, and all that.
Oh, gold mine of information. See what it's really like to work there. Real talk from real people.
Exactly.
Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, gotta acknowledge, the article doesn't sugarcoat things.
Oh, yeah. They get into the downsides, too.
It's all about balance, right? They talk about the freedom, flexibility.
But also the loneliness, the income ups and downs, the potential for burnout.
Right, those are real things.
They don't have easy answers, but they encourage you to think about it ahead of time.
Yeah, like how would you handle those challenges?
Exactly. Having a plan for your support network, diversifying income.
Setting boundaries so work doesn't take over your whole life.
All so important.
It's about going in with your eyes open, knowing the amazing stuff and the tough stuff.
And deciding if it's the right fit for you.
Exactly. This article gave us a ton of practical stuff, but ultimately, you got to do your own research, too.
Absolutely.
Ask yourself the hard questions, figure out what you really want.
Nobody else can answer that for you.
And hey, even if this whole digital nomad thing isn't for you right now,
the skills we talked about are useful no matter what.
Adaptability, resilience, resourcefulness, those are good for any career.
The world of work is changing fast. Got to be ready to change with it.
So true. Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all this.
Happy travels, whether it's across the world or just across town.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.